I'm going to be talking about the last three Millennium Development Goals and how they affect my country, North Korea. We're going to start the tour in the capital of Pyongyang. So, North Korea, back in the 1990s, experienced several famines and they went through a lot of hardships where it's reported that hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives due to starvation and sicknesses and disease. In North Korea, they have a tuberculosis rate that is 4 times higher than their neighbors of China and South Korea. And it's a major problem in North Korea because there are strains of TB that have been shown that they are resistant to conventional medicine. And so there are a lot of people experiencing these sicknesses, and they don't have medicine to help them. And since they have a lot of hunger, and especially when they had a lot of hunger back in the 1990s, hunger led to more disease and more famine, and that's probably what caused the most amount of deaths. The next place we'll visit is West Africa. There's been a large spread of the Ebola virus, and North Korea and their government has issued a travel ban because I believe the government knows how vulnerable they are to disease and sickness, and so a spread of Ebola in North Korea would definitely wipe out a lot of people and would probably take the country down to its knees. There are reports that they might lift the ban here in a little bit, since Ebola has kind of calmed down. So we'll now visit the Ryanggang province. This province in North Korea is known for probably being the poorest province in North Korea. And because of its poorness and lack of industry, there have been many breakouts of disease, and there's really no way to cure it because the people are so poor and hospitals are not well equipped to take care of their citizens there. Now we'll visit one of those hospitals, but we're going to go back to the capital in Pyongyang. And we have a hospital right here on the river. One of the biggest stories I came across with the hospitals in North Korea is they don't have any heaters, and so when sick people go there, especially in the winter, they have a high chance of being very cold and possibly dying in the hospital because of the coldness. And kind of like I've already mentioned before, the hospitals aren't well equipped to serve those who are sick and afflicted, and so that's one of the major problems in North Korea is their lack of medical equipment and vaccines. We are now going to go to a city called Hamhung. It's on the east coast of North Korea. And back in the 90s, this was probably the city that was most affected by the famines. Several thousand people died in the city alone, and it caused several more outbreaks of disease. And from what I've read about the city, it's supposed to be like a big industrial town, but many of the tourists that go there They see train stations and none of the trains move. And they see factories, but all the factories are closed down. So it's a town that has been stricken by poverty and sickness. And that wraps up the 6th Millennium Development Goal. Now we'll go to or start the ensure environmental sustainability goal, and we'll go back to Pyongyang. And some of the reports that I read on their air pollution are that it is very, very bad, and that it has been reported as unacceptable. That many of the people that live there suffer from asthma because of all the air pollution, and it's just not a very good place for their people to live there. Now we'll go to the Taedong River, and it's on the west coast of North Korea, and it is also reported that this river is in severe condition, and it's deteriorating very fast. This is a major river in North Korea because it is important for their exports and imports, and it's one of the biggest ports that receives and exports shipments from and to China. And so, as we'll talk about a little later, China is very important for them in their environment or their economy. And so this river is very dirty, and it is very unhealthy for the people that are living on its borders. One of the biggest problems that North Korea has seen is deforestation. And the picture that we're looking at now it's a picture of in the mountains where they've taken out the trees and all the forests so that they can farm the land. And so it's estimated that about 1.5 million acres have been destroyed due to deforestation. A little bit that I've talked about on my website is the Chuche political philosophy that they have, and they really want to be self-sustained and only take care of themselves. And so the best way to do that is to farm and grow more crops. But the farmland here in North Korea is very barren, and so they've had to take out many forests, and this is just one example of that. The next part we'll go to is an area where you can see how the land is very red, and that's a sign of poor condition for farmland. Much of the land is now pretty much unusable because of the poor farming techniques that they have used on their land, and they learned many of those farming techniques from the USSR from when they took over after World War II. And so poor farming techniques have led to this very poor land management, and we can see from this picture that a lot of the land like this has become unusable and doesn't provide crops for their country. Another environmental hazard that they have is the nuclear reactors. Many of the people are very nervous that North Korea has nuclear reactors because of their government, and because they have shown in the past that they aren't responsible for taking care of their resources and other things. And so a lot of people are disturbed that they have nuclear reactors where if something is mismanaged, a large problem could occur and not only affect them but their neighbors. So that wraps up the 7th Millennium Development Goal. And now we'll head on over to the 8th goal, global partnerships. So, pretty much what you need to know about North Korea and its partnerships is China. China has long supported North Korea, and they have been very good trading partners in the past. And it's estimated that around 80% of North Korea's goods comes from China, and anywhere from 40 to 70% of North Korea's food also comes from China. To kind of compare the imports and exports, there's a large difference between the two. China imports in North Korea exceed over $2 billion. And the bad thing is that North Korea exports total a little over 750 million. So as you can tell, they have to import much more products, and that's just for them to be able to live and to provide for their citizens. The next place that we're going to go back to North Korea, and one of the reasons why many people believe China wants to be partners with them is because they have several mining industries in their country. North Korea is very mountainous, and so there are a lot of zinc and iron mines. This is an iron mine that is on the border of North Korea and China. So China benefits from being partners with North Korea because they have so many mines, and that is something that China really has gotten into. North Korea doesn't really have a lot of trading partners, and so basically the only trading partners that they have are China and India. And here we have a picture of India. It's only said that about 3% of North Korea's imports actually come from China, but because North Korea is such an isolated place that they don't really have a lot of trading partners, so India would probably come in around second or third of their largest trading partners. China has said to be very bothered by some of the techniques that North Korea has used, especially toward their foreign relations. Here we have a picture of Sony Pictures in California, where some people believe that the hacks that happened at Sony Pictures into their emails was brought about by North Korea. And so these are some of the things that China kind of looked down upon, and this is especially one thing that many around the world look down upon because they don't really want to be working with people who create terror and especially hacking people around the world. So this wraps up my Google Earth tour about North Korea. Thanks for watching.